Fat Joe said something that was really cool. It's dope to hear stories like this from the old days. I want to say, old days as in quote-unquote 90s. And, stories of Fat Joe and Big Pun when they were kicking it together because, as we all know, Big Pun ended up eventually passing away, and Fat Joe kind of had to do his own thing with Terror Squad as time went on. But this was a really cool story. He appeared on the Rap Radar podcast and talked about how big of a fan he and Big Pun were of Eminem, so much so that they waited in line to purchase his album. I don't think he clarified exactly what album it was, but he did say he said before the 1999 Grammy, so I'm assuming it's the first Slim Shady LP album. So let's play the clip.
Eminem's a god. I don't give a fuck what you think. He's a god. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who shifted the whole algorithms when he came out. I remember me and Big Pun. Big Pun was the first Latino to sell 2 million records solo. Mm-hmm. We nominated for a Grammy, and the night before we go to the Grammys, we are waiting online in LA in Tower Records for the fucking Eminem album.
Online?
Wow.
Online.
Nominated for the Grammy.
Nominated for a Grammy. Me and Big Pun online to get that motherfucking Eminem album.
Wow.
You tell me he ain't a rap god. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I respect everybody who put their contributions to this game.
Ha rap god. I wouldn't call I don't like calling people gods because it's there's only one God, and that's a whole different subject, but Eminem is definitely someone who I feel, especially in today's time, gets disrespected for the wrong reasons. Although the music isn't the same as it once was, Eminem deserves to get his respect. He's paved the way for a lot of things. I've always said that if Eminem never blew up in hip-hop like the way he did, hip-hop as a genre would be a lot smaller because Eminem brought a whole new audience of white people, clearly, because they had somebody that they could relate to look-wise and join in on hip-hop. And I always say this, and this is something you can Google if you don't know. Every year that Eminem dropped an album, everybody else sold a lot more records because back in the day, I've said this millions of times, you could go to the store back when you had to purchase CDs. You go in the store, you see a rack of albums, you'll see Eminem's, and then next to it will be DMX, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, whoever was popping at that time. And you would see Eminem's, you would buy his album, and then you'd be like, oh, who is this guy, Ja Rule? Let me pick up his album. Who is this guy, Nelly? Let me pick up his album. Let me pick up Jay-Z's album. So that's why a lot of people would sell a lot more that year that Eminem would drop because he would bring out more people to the stores. As we know, Eminem would sell. Eminem show right now is like at 33 million records worldwide, so he would do insane numbers. But it's good I'm happy that artists show their respect to Eminem because, there are some that clown him and say he's only popular because he's white. Fat Joe came out right now and just said, listen, man, he's a rap god. He's one of the best to ever do it. And anybody who undermines that, someone who shifted the whole algorithm of hip-hop, is someone that deserves a respect. And I'm glad. I just like seeing this because Eminem gets a lot of shit in today's time, especially on social media, people that weren't present during Eminem's prime. I was super young, so even I wasn't fully present, but I knew even as a kid that, holy shit, like everybody's dressing like Eminem. I got into hip-hop because of Eminem. I ended up loving hip-hop because of 50 Cent, but I got into hip-hop because of Eminem, and, I obviously thank him for that, because hip-hop ended up becoming something I love. I do it daily as a passion, as my job. So, yeah, man, very dope of Fat Joe to say that. Salute to him. I would love to hear more Eminem and Fat Joe music collabs. That's definitely needed. So hopefully that happens in the future. That would be really cool as well. Rest in peace to Big Pun. Being the first Latino to sell 2 million is wild as well. He definitely would have been a legendary game changer had he still been alive to this day. So shout out to Big Pun. Shout out to Fat Joe for, telling us a cool story like that, waiting online to purchase the Eminem album.